Srila Bhakti Vigyan Bharati Maharaj ki
Jai.
Dalila Bhavishtom Vishnupad Astatera Sata Shri Srimad Srila Bhakti Swarup Damodar Maharaj ki
Jai.
Dalila Bhavishtom Vishnupad Astatera Sata Shri Srimad Srila Gaura Govinda Maharaj ki
Jai.
Dalila Bhavishtom Vishnupad Astatera Sata Shri Srimad Srila Bhakti Vedanta Vamana Maharaj ki
Jai.
Dalila Bhavishtom Vishnupad Astatera Sata Shri Srimad Srila Bhakti Bhai Bhakpuri Maharaj ki
Jai.
Jalila Bhavishtom Vishnupad Astatera Sata Shri Srimad Srila Bhakti Pramod Puri Maharaj ki
Jai.
Jalila Bhavishtom Vishnupad Astatera Sata Shri Srimad Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj ki
Jai.
Jalila Bhavishtom Vishnupad Astatera Sata Shri Srimad Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshava Goswami Maharaj ki
Jai.
Jalila Bhavishtom Vishnupad Paramahansa Varvrajacharya Astatera Sata Shri Srimad Param Gurudev Jagakuru Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada ki
Jai.
Maha Bhagavat Srila Gaura Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj ki
Jai.
Shapta Goswami Satchidananda Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur ki
Jai.
Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj ki
Jai.
Shri Gaudiya Vedanta Acharya Srila Baladev Vibhushan Prabhu ki
Jai.
Shri Rasika Acharya Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur ki
Jai.
Srila Narottam Srinivas Shamananda Prabhu Trai ki
Jai.
Shri Krishna Kaviraj Goswami Prabhu ki
Jai.
Shri Rupa Shri Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Das Raghunath Shaz Goswami Prabhu ki
Jai.
Shri Sukdamodar Rai Ramananda Shri Gaur Parshad Vrinda ki
Jai.
Namacharya Shri Haridas Thakur ki
Jai.
Prem Sikho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasati Gaura Bhaktivinoda ki
Jai.
Shri Navadvipantar Dvip Mayapur Dham ki
Jai.
Ganga Devi ki
Jai.
Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki
Jai.
Bhakti Devi ki
Jai.
Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopina Shamakunda Radha Kun Giri Govardhan ki
Jai.
Shri Vrindavan Dham ki
Jai.
Shri Devi ki Shrimati
Jai.
Purnamasi Yogamaya ki
Jai.
Shrimati Tulasi Maharani Brinda Devi ki
Jai.
Gopishwara Mahadev ki
Jai.
Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Devi Sudasan Chakra Purushotam Dham Tata Gopinath ki
Jai.
Narasingha Bhagavan ki
Jai.
Bhakta Pravara Prahlad Maharaj ki Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki
Jai.
Samagata Bhakta Vrinda ki
Jai.
Shinitai Gora Premanande
Hari Hari. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Jataha Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Prachadane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschattarane Namo Vishnupadaya Radhikaya Priyatmane Shri Srimad Bhakti Vedanta Narayaniti Namane Shri Krishna Lila Katane Sudaksham Audaurya Madhurya Gunaishcha Yuktam Varam Varenyam Purusham Mahantam Narayanam Tam Shirsha Namami Shridandinam Bhakta Shiromanim Cha Shri Krishna Padabja Dhritaika Hridi Chaitanya Lilamrita Sarasaram Narayanam Tam Satatam Prapadye Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Goswaminiti Namani Namam Vishnu Padaya Acharya Singha Rupane Shri Srimad Bhakti Pragyana Keshava Iti Namane Atimaratya Charitraya Swasritaanansha Palane Jiva Dukke Sadartaya Srinama Premadayane Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Te Namane Shivarshavanavi Devi Daitaya Kripabdaye Krishna Sambandha Vijnana Dayane Prabhave Namaha Madhurya Ujjvala Premadya Shri Rupanuga Bhaktida Shri Gaura Karuna Shakti Vigrahaya Namostute Namaste Gauravani Shri Murtai Dinatarane Rupanuga Viruddhapa Siddhanta Dvantaharane Namo Gaura Kisharaya Sakshad Vairagya Murtaye Vipralambhara Sambodhe Padabur Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Sachidananda Namane Gaura Shakti Swarupaya Rupanuga Varayate Gaurabhir Bhava Bhumestvam Nirdeshta Sajjana Priya Vaishnava Sarva Bhauma Shri Jagannataya Te Namaha Vansha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Eva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Mahabhajanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaura Tvishe Namaha Nityanandam Namastubhyam Prem Ananda Pradayane Kalo Kalmashanashaya Janava Pataye Namaha Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Jayatam Suruto Pangor Mamamanda Matergati Matsarvasva Padambojo Radha Madanamohano Divyad Vrindaranya Kalpadrumadha Srimad Ratnagara Singhasanasto Srimad Radha Srila Govinda Devo Prishta Libhisevyamano Smarami Shriman Rasa Rasarambi Vam Shivata Tatakstitaha Karshana Venu Swanair Gopir Gopinata Shri Estunaha Brindai Tulsi Devai Priyai Keshavasya Cha Krishna Bhakti Prade Devi Satyavachai Namo Nama Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. We will sing the song Krishna Deva Bhavantam Vande. Krishna Deva Bhavantam Vande. We are singing that song. Krishna Deva Bhavantam Vande. And but we will first of all sing Mahamantra and so forth. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda 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 Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Oh, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Nitai Gauranga, Jaya Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga, Jaya Nitai Gauranga. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Actually, we're going to sing Gauranga Balite Habe first, and then we're going to sing Krishna Deva Bhavantam Bande. Gauranga Balite Habe Pulakasha Sari. Gauranga Balite Habe Pulakashari. Gauranga Balite Habe Pulakasharira. Gauranga Balite Habe Pulakasharira. Hari Hari Bolite Nayane Babe Ni. Hari 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 bolite nayane babe nir nayane babe nira আর কবে নিতাই চন্দের করুণা হইবে আর কবে তাই চন্দের করুণা হইবে আর কবে নিতাই চন্দের করুণা হইবে আর কবে তাই চন্দের করুণা হইবে সংসার বাসনা মোর কবে তুচ্ছ হবে সংসার বাসনা মোর কবে তুচ্ছ হবে বিষয় চরিয়া কবে শুদ্ধ হবে মন ও বিষয় চরিয়া কবে শুদ্ধ হবে মন বিষয় কবে हम हे रब श्री वृंदावन कबे हम हे रब श्री वृंदावन कबे हम हे रब श्री वृंदावन রূপরাগুণাতা পদে হইবে আকুতি রূপরাগুণাতা পদে হইবে আকুতি ও রূপরাগুণাতা পদে হইবে আকুতি कबे हम बुझब से जुगल प्रीति कबे हम बुझब से जुगल प्रीति कबे हम बुझब से जुगल प्रीति रघुनाथ पदे राहु मोरया शुभ रघुनाथ पदे राहु मोरया रूप रघुनाथ पदे राहु मोरया शुभ रघुनाथ पदे রহু মরায়াস প্রার্থনা করো এ সদা নরোত্তম দাস প্রার্থনা করো এ সদা নরোত্তম দাস প্রার্থনা করো এ সদা নরোত্তম দাস করো এ সদা নরোত্তম দাস শ্রী কৃষ্ণ চৈতন্য প্রভু নিত্যানন্দ Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Krishna Deva Bhavantam Vande Krishna Deva Bhavantam Vande Krishna Deva Bhavantam Vande Krishna Deva Manamana Samadhukaram Arpaya Nija Pada Pankaja Makarande Manamana Samadhukaram Arpaya Nija Pada Pankaja Makarande Krishna Deva Bhavantam Vande Krishna Deva Bhavantam Vande Yadyapi samadhishu vidhirapi pashyati nathavanakagram marichim Yadyapi samadhishu vidhirapi pashyati nathavanakagram marichim Yadyapi samadhishu vidhirapi pashyati nathavanakagram marichim Idamichami nishamyatavachuta tadapi kripat bhutavichim Idamichami nishamyatavachuta tadapi kripat bhutavichim Krishna Deva Bhavantam Vande Oh Krishna Deva Bhavantam Vande Oh Bhakti Rudan Shati Yadyapi Madhava Natvai Mamatila Matri Bhakti Rudan Shati Yadyapi Madhava Natvai Mamatila Matri Oh Bhakti Rudan Shati Yadyapi Madhava Natvai Mamatila Matri Parameshwarata tadabitavadika durgata gata navidatri Parameshwarata Thadapitavadika Durgata Gatana Vidatri Krishna Deva Bhavantam Vande Krishna Deva Bhavantam Vande Manamana Madhukaram Arpaya Nijapada Pankaja Makarande Krishna Deva Bhavantam Vande Ayamavilolata Yadya Sanatana Kalitadbhuta Rasa Bharam Ayamavilolata Kalitadbhuta Rasa Bharam Ayamavilolata Yadya Sanatana Kalitadbhuta Rasa Bharam Ayamavilolata Yadya Sanatana Nivasatu nityami amrita nindini vindan madhuri masara Nivasatu nityami amrita nindini vindan madhuri masara Krishna Deva Bhavantam Vande Krishna Deva Bhavantam Vande Manamana Samadhukaramārpaya Nijapada Pankaja Makarande Krishna Deva Bhavantam Vande Krishna He Krishna He Krishna He Krishna He Radhe He Radhe He Radhe He Radhe He Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite Jaya Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite Gokulatharuni Mandala Mohite Gokulatharuni Gokulata O Gokula Taruni Mandala Mohite Jaya Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite Damodara Rati Vardhana Veshe Hari Nishkuta Vrin Davi Pineshe Haradara Rati Vardhana Veshe Hari Nishkuta Vrin Davi Pineshe Damodara Rati Vardhana Veshe Hari Nishkuta Vrinda Vipineshe Hari Nishkuta Vrinda Vipineshe Radhe Jayo Jayo Madhava Dayate Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Dayate Vrishabhanudadhi Navashashileke Lalita Saki Guna Ramita Vishake Vrishabhanudadhi Navashashileke Lalita Saki Guna Ramita Vishake Vrishabhanudadhi Navashashileke Lalita Saki Guna Ramita Vishake Radhe Jayo Jayo Madhava Daite Radhe Jayo Jayo Madhava Daite Karunam Kurumai Karuna Bharite Sanaka Sanatana Varnita Charite Karuna O Karunam Kurumai Karuna Bharite Sanaka Sanatana Varnita Charite Karuna Karunam Kurumai Karuna Bharite Sanaka Sanatana Varnita Charite Jaya Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite O Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Dayate Gokula Taruni Mandala Mahite Gokula Taruni Mandala Mahite Mandala Mahite Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Dayate Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Dayate Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya Sachinandan Jaya Gaurahari Sachinandan Jaya Gaurahari Nitai He Gaura He Nitai He Gaura He Radhe He Krishna He Radhe He Krishna He Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Nitai Gaura Hari Bo Hari Bo Hari Bo Hari Bo Nitai Gaura Hari Bo Hari Bo Hari Bo Hari Bo Jai Shri Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo. Hare Krishna. So as I mentioned earlier, we're going to begin to read the special lecture that was given. Actually, it's a lecture that was given by Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakura on the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. That's the topic, and the importance of it. And that is included at the beginning of the book Rasa Panchadhyaya, just after our Gurudev Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaja's his own introduction, fabulous introduction. So now we will get tuned in by Prabhupada Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati to hearing this topic of the 10th canto Rasa Panchadhyaya. Are you ready? So first of all, I'm offering my unlimited Dandavat Pranams and my Shraddha Pushpanjali at the lotus feet of my most worshipable beloved Gurudev, Nityalila Pravishta Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Asto Tarashata Sri Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada. Come. And then I'm offering my same unlimited Dandavat Pranams and my Shraddha Pushpanjali at the lotus feet of my most worshipable beloved Siksha Gurudevs, Nityalila Pravishta Om Vishnupad Paramahansa, Asto Tarasata Sri Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Goswami Maharaj and Nityalila Pravishta Om Vishnupad Paramahansa, Asto Tarasata Sri Srila Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj. And I offer my Dandavat Pranams to the lotus feet of all my Sri Sri Rupanuga Guru Varga. And today is the disappearance day of two of the very great associates of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. First one is Sri Mahesh Pandit. And the second one is Sri Udaran Datta Thakura. And Srila Bhakti Vigyan Bharati Goswami Maharaj has given his commentary on the glories of these two personalities. So they're not long. They're not long at all. So we're just going to read those before we start diving in. And my Dandavat Pranams to all the Vaishnavas and to all the Vaishnavis. So, it's actually in one kata. He's taking both of these. Now, today is a special day. It is the Tirobhav Titi of two Vraja Gopalas, Krishna's cowherd boyfriends. Who are they? Srila Mahesh Pandit and Srila Udaran Datta Thakur. Among the 12 Gopalas, that's the Dvadasha Gopals, then Srila Mahesh Pandit is Mahabahu. That's his cowherd name, Mahabahu. So originally residing in Guwahati, he later moved to Navadvip, desiring to reside near the Ganga. There were three brothers, Srila Hiranya Pandit, Srila Jagadish Pandit, and Srila Mahesh Pandit. The youngest of them was Srila Mahesh Pandit, who is Braja's Mahabahu, Mahabahu Sakha. And he is considered among the associates of Sri Nityananda Prabhu. He left his home and he established his Shripat at Masipur in Jirat. And later he moved to Beledanga, near to Sukasagara. From there he moved his Shripat to Palapada. His Samadhi was originally in Palapada. Later on, it was shifted to Katalapuri near Chakadaha, due to the threat of being submerged by the Ganga. There, his worshipable deities, Sri Gopinath, Madan Mohan, Radha Govinda, and Shaligram Shila, they were residing in a room. Then later, when the Gaudiya Math took up the service of the deities, then Srila Prabhupada also built a temple where the Pushpa Samadhi of Srila Mahesh Pandit was placed in front. So as a mere child, Sri Chaitanya Dev, he endeavored to make everyone perform kirtan. Did you know that? When he was a child, when Lord Chaitanya was a small baby even, he always endeavored to make everyone do what? Chant the holy names of Krishna and sing and dance, to do kirtan, right? And when he appeared in this world, then under the pretext of an eclipse, he engaged everyone in performing kirtan. Why? Because the people of Bengal at that time, they all were following various Smarta religions and Smarta Brahmanism and so many other. And they liked to adhere to observing eclipses in a specific way so that they wouldn't be attacked by inauspiciousness. So what happened? They were all in the Ganga Because if you're right smack dab in the middle of the Ganga with your arms upraised and you're chanting Hari Bol, it's a pretty good position to be in during an eclipse, huh? Auspiciousness is going to have a hard time touching you. So Mahaprabhu played this pastime that he appeared exactly at the time of the lunar eclipse. Huh? And so everyone was engaged in performing kirtan, even though they never really did used to perform kirtan. But because of the eclipse and everything, they thought, oh, this is a good idea. So, and then when he was a little child, he would cry. He would cry and cry, and he would entice everyone to perform kirtan. Why? Because they couldn't make him stop crying. There was only one way. When they clapped and they sang, then the child would stop crying. But one day it so happened that despite all the neighbors uniting in kirtan, Sri Chaitanya Dev would not stop crying. So when Sri Chaitanya Dev wouldn't give up crying, Sri Jagannath Mishra asked him, "Oh my son, why are you crying? What will make you stop?" And he replied, "Today, Srila Hiranya Pandit and Srila Jagadish Pandit, they have prepared special offerings for Vishnu in their home," because it was in Ekadasi Titi. "If I get even a little portion of each of those items, I will stop crying." But it wasn't that they were cooking only Ekadasi. Now, initially, Sri Jagannath Mishra wondered whether they would be willing to give some portion of the offerings which they had prepared for Lord Vishnu to Sri Chaitanya Dev. So he considered that it was possible, as the child wouldn't give up crying otherwise. And thus, when Sri Jagannath Mishra went to their house and he explained the situation at home, Srila Jagadish Pandit willingly agreed. He said, "Oh, take everything. He is such a small child, yet how did he know that today was Ekadasi?" He was not even 5 years of age at that time. So additionally, how did he know that there are so many nice preparations had been prepared for the Lord? Certainly Bhagavan is residing in his heart. So for this reason, he gladly offered everything he had prepared. And the moment that Sri Chaitanya Dev ate all the offerings, he stopped crying. So considering that Sri Chaitanya Dev accepted food on the day of Ekadasi, those who are pakandis, they take this incident as praman. Once I was standing next to a very learned and established individual who was narrating this pastime. And afterwards he approached me and he was offering obeisances, and he said, "Baba, do not hear these things." In other words, Sri Chaitanya Dev was only a mere child. So how could his action be considered as praman? This was the point. It doesn't really go into much of an explanation, but there's a footnote later. Because some persons were trying to say that Mahaprabhu took grains on Ekadasi. So that's our praman, we can do like that. So Srila Mahesh Pandit, he renounced his home and he wandered in different places until settling in Katalapuri. Katalapuri. So today is the Tirubhav Titi of Srila Mahesh Pandit, and there they still celebrate a festival. They still. In these days, a grand festival used to be held at Sri Chaitanya Mat, where our godbrother Giri Maharaj, who was in charge, managing the temple services. And there was another person by the name Krishna Mohan, who was a teacher there. He remained in the Mat and did not marry. So he would go to teach children in a school one station away. So in 1962, at the time when we had our Mat in Jashore, the last descendant of Srila Jagadish Pandit Vishwanath Goswami, he was residing there. And he wrote a letter to Guru Maharaj during Kumbh Mela saying, "You will have to accept the service of the deities." Guru Maharaj asked me, "What should we do?" And I replied, "We should write them a letter saying that we will decide after personally paying a visit to that place." So the letter was drafted on the instruction of Guru Maharaj, and when we came to Calcutta on our way to Mayapur, we took time to visit that place, and we found the temple dilapidated. Radha Ranjan Ghosh, who was the chairman of the local municipality there, along with one Brahmana and another person from royal heritage, they all three, in very advanced age, they met with Guru Maharaj, and they begged him to take over the services of the temple as soon as possible. Guru Maharaj then consulted with his god brothers, and they encouraged him, saying, "You have no other service of any ancient temple, so it is good to accept it." And then Guru Maharaj accepted the service. So today is the Tirubhav Titi of Srila Mahesh Pandit, and in a few days is the Tirubhav Titi of Srila Jagadish Pandit. A day prior to this, Nagar Sankirtan is held in and around the city of Chakdaha. We also go to Katalapuri to his Shripat, and we also join in the Nagar Sankirtan one day before that. Previously, when it was in Palapara, we used to go there as well. Also, when Nityananda Prabhu had celebrated the Panihati festival. You know the Panihati festival? Who was there? Raghunath Das Goswami. And all the chipped rice soaked in either, like condensed milk or in yogurt. So, anyway, when Nityananda Prabhu had celebrated that Panihati festival, then Srila Mahesh Pandit, he was present there at the time. And there he would perform lots of Nritya Kirtan, dancing and singing. Such are his glories. Srila Udaran Datta Thakur is actually Subahu Saka. In Vrindavan Krishna Lila, he's one of the 12 Gopalas, the Dvadasha Gopals. His place of appearance is Trish Bigha, a town in Saptagram. His father's name was Shrikara, and his mother's name was Bhadravati. So accepting them as his parents, he appeared in a family of gold merchants. Why did Mahaprabhu arrange for his devotees to appear in various castes? Because it makes no difference where or how a Vaishnava appears. One is bound for hell if he sees a Vaishnava according to caste. Scriptures say that one is considered to be of hellish nature, or one is bound for hellish regions if he thinks that the deity in the temple as being made of stone, wood, or metal, or if he thinks that Vaishnavas as belonging to a particular caste, or he considers Guru as an ordinary man. What's the verse from the Padma Purana that tells us this? It is the verse, Arche Vishno Shiladir Gurushu Naramatir Vaishnavejati Buddhir Vishnorva Vaishnavanam Kalimala Matane Padatirtem Buddhi Shri Vishnor Namni Mantre Sakala Kalushahe Shabda Samanya Buddhir Vishno Sarveshvareshe Taditara Samadir Yasyava Narakisa. So, what's the translation of this verse? That one who thinks that the deity in the temple is made of wood or stone, who thinks of the spiritual master in the disciplic succession as an ordinary man, who thinks the Vaishnava in the Achyuta Gotra belongs to a certain caste or creed, or who thinks of Sharanamrita or Ganga water as ordinary water, that person is taken to be a resident of hell. Naraki sa. Naraki means he's living in Narak. So, okay, yeah, we're getting near the end now. It's just near the end. So, Srila Udarandatta Thakur, he stayed with Nityananda Prabhu, even though he worked as the manager of a big zamindar in Naihati, near Katwa. So the relics of this wealthy family are still visible not far from Dainhat. The place where he resided was named Udaranpur. This is near Katwa. I got a chance to visit this place, which is on the banks of the Ganga, due to some work. Then Srila Bharati Maharaj described the entire Panihati festival in great detail, explaining how Srila Raghunath Das Goswami received the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu. So there's the reference here that you click on it and then you go to that explanation. So just to wind up, he says that Srila Raghunath Das Goswami asked Raghava Pandit for guidance to ascertain how much dakshin to give to each person. So Raghunath Das Goswami had all this wealth, and at such a festival there were many, many Vaishnavas of all different backgrounds. So Raghunath Das Goswami didn't know who's who. So he asked Raghava Pandit for guidance to ascertain how much of donation, dakshina, to give to each person. Because if he were to give to everyone equally, then that would constitute a violation of etiquette. So thus Raghava Pandit made a list of the amount to be donated to each and every devotee. The dakshina for Nityananda Prabhu, it was given to Srila Udarandatta Thakur, who was the chief servitor and the treasurer of Nityananda Prabhu. What a position of treasury to have. Now, because of Srila Udarandatta Thakur, because of him, the entire gold merchant community got liberated. And they all attained the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu because of Udarandatta. He established the worship of the six-armed form of Mahaprabhu. What's that called? Sadbhuj Gauranga. He established the worship of that form at his own Shripat. And he also established it at Dainhat. Now, although Srila Udarandatta Thakur has disappeared from worldly vision, his deities are still manifest, giving darshan, and are being served by his descendants. So, both Srila Mahesh Pandit and Srila Udarandatta Thakur, they are Braja Gopalas. And Srila Mahesh Pandit worshipped Sri Gopinath Madan Mohan and Radha Govinda, and his Shalagram Shila in his temple, and their service is now being performed by the Gaudiya Mutt at that temple. And Srila Udarandatta Thakur's worshipable deity, I'll have to go there sometime. It's not far. Srila Udarandatta Thakur's worshipable deity was the Sadbhuj Gauranga deity, and is still worshipped there. His only son was Srinivas. So in his name, the place Udaranpur is still present. There is a crematorium where dead bodies are burnt by use of charcoal. Up to that point, I hadn't seen such a thing anywhere. I saw it there for the first time. So here's the end. Some people go from Calcutta every Sunday to his Shripat in Udaranpur for darshan. And his deities, Chaitanya, Nityananda, Chaitanya Gadadhar, are there today. Today is his Tirubhav Titi. We will pray for his mercy. He served the lotus feet of Nityananda Prabhu in all respects, wholeheartedly. Though in a very high post, he accompanied Nityananda Prabhu everywhere, and he contributed to expand his preaching. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol, Sri Udaran Datta Thakur, and Srila Mahesh Pandit, Disappearance Day, Ki Jai. So now we are going to begin to read this extraordinary article by Srila Prabhupada Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So this article, which is actually a lecture by Srila Prabhupada, it was translated from his book Srila Prabhupada Harikatamrita, which is published by Sri Chaitanya Mat. So this is the foreword to this book. The title is Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada's Special Discourse on Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th Canto. You know when this lecture was given? It was given at the Calcutta Gaudiya Mutt on the 17th of May, 1930. And it was first published in the Weekly Gaudiya magazine. Weekly. Volume 8, number 41. Now, he begins by saying, there is a great necessity to write a special commentary on the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam for those persons who earnestly thirst to serve transcendent beauty. This is the first category. What does it mean to earnestly thirst to serve transcendent beauty? That he goes into in depth here. But for those persons, there is a great necessity to write a special commentary on the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, because those persons earnestly thirst to serve transcendent beauty. And such an exposition, this exposition, it will not be a display of the pompous language that big scholars utter in their dissertations on the 10th canto. That it will not be. It will not be an exposition. This display of pompous language. No. Nor, there's another category, nor will it be the exhibition of the imitationists. What is an imitationist? Yes, Prakrita Sahajiyas. It will not be an exhibition by them because they accept their cheaply conceived fantasies as part of absolute reality. Therefore, those in whom ardent spiritual greed has arisen, they will certainly want to read this book. So he's eliminated those who will not be eligible, right? Now, he begins to glorify Srimad Bhagavatam. In this world, there is no treatise like Srimad Bhagavatam. In this whole world, there is no treatise like Srimad Bhagavatam. It is not a hearsay or a mythology. If a person truly follows the deliberations of Srimad Bhagavatam without material motivation, he will understand that there is no text that can ever compare to this scripture, now or in the future. So Srimad Bhagavatam presents in sequence the progressively evolved conceptions of the Absolute. Now listen to this. Srila Prabhupada, he now gives you what are the progressively evolved conceptions of the Absolute Truth that are contained in the Srimad Bhagavatam and are presented in a sequence, progressively, a progressive evolution of conceptions of the Absolute. What are these? This is all there in the first 9 cantos up to the 10th canto. Now, what's the preliminary conception that someone will have regarding the existence of any supreme absolute truth? That there is a doubt. That's called samshaya. That's the beginning. There's a doubt. Is there an existence of any supreme truth? So, what's the level of modern day society? Well, some categories of persons are interested to wonder about this, right? Is there a supreme source of everything? Especially people in the field of science. I've looked at some discussions and even debates, between atheists and theists. And they're scientists. They're not just ordinary people. And so the thing is that here there is a sequence. The preliminary conception, this is the preliminary conception of the progressively evolved conceptions of the Absolute that are presented in the Srimad Bhagavatam. So the preliminary one is doubt in the existence of any supreme truth. That's called samshaya. And next, after that, comes denial of the personal absolute, which is called nashtikya. Okay, they may start to grasp that there's some kind of existence, but definitely not a person, nashtikya. Then there is acceptance of the Absolute as impersonal and also featureless, which is called nirgun. That comes after that. Okay, yes, but he's impersonal and he's featureless. Then comes the theory that God exists, but he is neuter. It's called kliva. He's not of any gender. Neuter. Then comes the potent Godhead, which is called Purusha. The potent Godhead. And then the potent and his potency together, called Mituna. The potent and his potency together. So, then, the conception next evolves to what? Svakya. The eternal matrimony of the Supreme Male and his consort. And then finally, Parakya, the paramour conception of the divine couple. So, in the general mass of people on this earth planet, at which point are most of them? Huh? Some shy. They're doubting. Is there an existence or not? Or they're not even thinking about it. You know, in China, interesting thing. When I was traveling there in China with my translator, Yamuna, very expert translator, high-level university student who became a devotee. And she traveled with most of us sannyasis. She was like non-stop traveling for a number of years. We would come to China, we would stay a month, and then the next one would come like that. Anyway, being with her, and usually there was another lady who she brought along, devotee, as we traveled on trains and buses and like that, and sometimes airplane. So, and I remember having a conversation where she was describing that what is the level of the atheism that is there in China, communist China. It is so deeply embedded in the people's hearts, minds, consciousness. They never even ask a question, is there God or not? Just imagine. They never even ask, is there a thing called God or Supreme, like this? So, that's the beginning stage, and there's many, many different levels of this doubt, samshaya. Then, of course, there's agnosticism, where they don't deny it, they don't accept it, they don't know. But all of it is due to ignorance. And what about then the next stage, where there's denial of the personal absolute, which is called nastikya? Even the major religions of the world are nastikya. And they cannot accept that there's a person. The Supreme Absolute is a person. I remember once with my father, after I had been a devotee for many years, and I was visiting there in my householder life, and I was trying to have a clear, coherent conversation with him. He was a Christian, devout, going to church every Sunday. You know, church-going Christian. But then during the week, you forget about everything until the next Sunday, right? And so I was just trying to discuss with him in a logical manner that you believe in God, right? But who is God? That's the question. You believe there's God. Christians believe in God. The Supreme Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. So you believe in God. But who is he? What's his identity? What does he look like? Where does he live? You don't have any of this information at all. And then I started trying to point out that God is a person. He's a person. He has a spiritual body, a spiritual form, you know. And I didn't get very far in what I was trying to tell him because he just suddenly freaked out. God is not a person! Because what was his idea of person? Like us. Like us. Fleshy, blood, bones, all of the stool, urine. He could not conceive of a spiritual person, although that's what the Bible advocates. Huh? God is there in heaven, and he's a person, and Michelangelo, and what? What?
Well, who's sitting on the right side and left side of God if he's not there?
Yes, right. How can there be a person sitting on the left-hand side of God and on the right-hand? Persons, if he's not a person.
Plus, we're made in the image.
Yes. But the thing is, the reason why I'm bringing this up is that here's a church-going Christian who's heard this for all whole life. But yet, the level of his perception, realization, or understanding is so rudimentary that he has not yet conceived that God has a spiritual body. And he became quite upset that I dare to say that God is a person. But he didn't give me a chance to go much further. I just dropped it. I said, okay, just cool it, okay? You know. But nevertheless, Srimad Bhagavatam is addressing all of this. If they read Srimad Bhagavatam, then they will understand. So that's that denial of the personal absolute, nashtikya. Then comes the acceptance of the absolute as impersonal and featureless, nirgun. Do we find that? Pretty rampant. That's why Prabhupada told, nirvishesha shunyavadi paschatya desatarini. It's all over the whole world. Because they have no real proper information about the personality of Godhead. Nor do they have any proper philosophy. And they've been poisoned. And they've been, contaminated in their consciousness to think that they can become God. The philosophy of Mayavad. So, like I said, I was listening to Prabhupada's early 1966 lecture of the introduction to Bhagavad Gita. That's where they took it from, this lecture. And it's so interesting how Srila Prabhupada goes step by step. But he establishes so clearly, matter-of-factly, God is a person, but he's supreme. We are also persons, but we're not supreme. Like that. Then comes the theory that God exists, but he's neuter, kliva. I think you could put some scientists who have become like theists, believers in God, but they can't explain. They can't explain the transcendental existence of that supreme being. Although what they usually do is they kind of like relegated to, well, okay, I'm a Christian. I believe in Christianity. I believe in God, the God of the Bible, or like that. So, but, he's neuter. The theory of God as being the supreme male, that's the basis of the biblical understanding, supposedly coming down from the ancient times and from the time of Jesus, that God is the Father and he's the creator. And that's why, the Bible begins with, in the beginning there was the Word, and the Word was God, and the Word was of God, right? And then the description of God creating everything in 6 days and resting on the seventh day, because he became really exhausted. But when you learn, as I did after my upbringing in Christianity, when I came into the Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita and began to understand that what is the process by which God actually creates the whole existence, not just what we see with our puny little eyes, but we barely see anything of God's creation with our senses, with our very limited mind. What can we conceive of? But Srimad Bhagavatam just completely explodes any ignorance by directly telling how actually it begins in his spiritual world. And there's nothing in the Bible to talk about how God, from the spiritual world, where he's supposedly there in heaven and all of that, how is he going to engage in the process of creation? But only the Vedas are telling us of the absolute eternal realm, the Paravyom, the eternal domain of supreme reality, which is never destroyed, ever destroyed, and is made of a different substance than everything of the material universe, which is made of matter, which is unconscious, is not conscious. But there, everything is made of what? Consciousness. So it's definitely a big leap for persons from such a rudimentary initial background, like a kindergarten level of understanding of God. But nevertheless, the information is there in the Srimad Bhagavatam. How God creates. First, he expands himself. Is there any statement in the Bible that God expands himself? No. There's nothing to understand that the supreme absolute truth, the supreme personality of Godhead, can expand himself infinitely in as many forms as he likes. You won't find this in any other scripture, any other book, any other philosophy on this planet Earth. Only in the Vedas. But it's so logical, because he's infinite. The infinite can expand himself infinitely. Otherwise, you're limiting him. Like Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Maharaj tells the story of how he was in, I think, South India, and there was a philosophical person with whom he and a few others were visiting him, and a debate came up. And that man was saying, that the infinite can never be seen and understood by the finite. The finite living entities cannot understand the infinite. They cannot realize, they cannot perceive him like this. They cannot know him. The infinite is unknowable. But Srila Sridhar Maharaj turned it around, this statement, and he added another layer of logic, which completely confounded that person. And he said, oh, you say that the infinite cannot reveal himself to the finite. But I say that he is not infinite. If he cannot reveal himself to the finite, then he's not infinite. And that person said, yeah, I guess you're right, So like this, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur is presenting the sequence that the Srimad Bhagavatam presents in sequence the progressively evolved conceptions of the Absolute. But nowhere are you going to find the conception of Svakya, matrimony of the supreme male and his consort. See, nobody has any of this. That the supreme absolute truth has an eternal consort. And she is as powerful as him. And in fact, all energy is a manifestation of her. Nowhere. You will not find this in any other religion, concept, nowhere. But yet, this is the truth, and this is what needs to be administered the medicine to cure the ignorance and the blindness of human society is Srimad Bhagavatam. And what to speak of Parakya? Nowhere. So he goes on and he says, in the 10th canto, Sri Krishna's pastimes, the pastimes of Krishna, the main subject of this book, they are described. Without the 10th canto and the pastimes of Krishna, the Srimad Bhagavatam is not something extraordinary. So, in the 10th canto, then the main subject of this book, they are described, Krishna's pastimes. So, what was the need? If this is the main subject in the 10th canto, then what was the need of presenting the first 9 cantos? The question he's asking. What was the need of presenting 9 cantos before that, if this is the main subject of the book? So he says, those 9 cantos come first to make a platform to highlight the fact that Sri Krishna is the completely independent autocrat. You have to know that before you start trying to understand his pastimes. He's the completely independent autocrat. He's not under anyone else's rule or anything. So his loving affairs, what are they? They are the paramount subject of the Srimad Bhagavatam. Paramount subject. In the Bible it says you should love God with all your heart, all your soul, all your mind, like this. Love your neighbor as thyself. But it doesn't tell you anything about love of God. Therefore people speculate over hundreds of years, and they concoct they make various attempts. Like in Catholicism, what's it called? The female nuns, they actually have evolved over time a conception that they are married to Jesus. You know?
Bride of Christ.
Yeah, the bride of Christ, like this. Otherwise, where is there any nectar? In the material world, these relationships are not nectar. They're quite the opposite. These paramour relationships, marital relationships, familial relationships, all of these 4 rasas, they exist in the material world, but they're full of suffering, all of them. There's no way to avoid at all that you will have to suffer. But in the transcendental realm, this is the paramount subject of understanding the absolute truth, is that he is a paramour, and he has his eternal paramour conception with his eternal consort. I loved that about Krishna consciousness when I saw the cover of the Krishna book. Here's these 2 personalities. You know the first picture that I ever saw at that rock festival where I got 2 different pieces of literature. One was Krishna, the Reservoir of Pleasure, with the original cover. And the other one was, Back to Godhead magazine. And you know what was on the cover of the Back to Godhead magazine? The painting of Devahuti, which was later used on the Nectar of Devotion cover. You know that? With Radha and Krishna sitting on a swing, and there's swans and peacocks. This is the first picture I ever saw of Krishna, not knowing who he is, what this devotee is even showing me. He's put this in my hands, and I'm looking at it. And I actually was so struck by this picture that I said, I think this may be the most beautiful picture I've ever seen. And I didn't ask him who are the people and this and that, but it was just so beautifully painted. She, made those big halos, and the way she selected her colors, and very bright, and yeah. Yeah, so I don't know how I segued to that subject. Yes, that God is a person. God is a person. And, because that was Radha and Krishna. That was Radha and Krishna. I was very attracted. And I didn't even know. Neither did I really notice that Radharani was holding the flute. Krishna wasn't holding the flute in that picture. And they're sitting on a flower swing. So beautiful. So beautiful. So Srila Prabhupada wanted to expand the Srimad Bhagavatam to the whole world through art. Yes. Cultural presentation for the re-spiritualization of the entire human society, nay, of all living beings. Quoted from the preface of Srila Prabhupada. So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur is telling us that this is the main paramount subject of the Srimad Bhagavatam. Yes. But those 9 cantos are required because they make a platform to highlight the fact that Sri Krishna is the supreme, completely independent autocrat. And his loving affairs are the paramount subject of the Srimad Bhagavatam. So the first 9 cantos, they present the rudimentary theories of doubt up to the conception of conjugal love. That's what they present. Starting with doubt, samshaya. So, yes. So, the first 9 cantos present the rudimentary theories of doubt up to the conception of conjugal love of God. And then in the 10th canto, in the chapters like Gopi Geet, then the paramour conception is revealed. What's the word in Russian for paramour? Huh? So you don't know what the word is. Okay, there's one relationship between a husband and a wife. But then if the wife has another lover that the husband doesn't know about, what is he called in your language? Or does that never happen in Russia?
We call the person любовник or любовница.
Lubovnik.
Любовник, yes.
Okay. Lover. Her lover.
Yes.
Is there no other word for it? To tell about the legality or illegality of that relationship? No. Anyway, in the English language, there are more than one word, but a paramour means that you have another person besides your husband that you are in love with, and you're keeping it secret. That's called paramour. Is there another word? Yeah. Anyway, it's an illicit relationship. It's not legal. So that's why ordinary people, they think that Krishna is a lascivious, person who just goes gallivanting with other people's wives. And they commit offense. But that will be dealt with here in what Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur is showing. Yes. So the paramour conception is revealed in the 10th canto in the chapters such as Gopi Gita. Now, before the advent of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, many persons used to study the Srimad Bhagavatam, did they not? Before he advented on the earth? Yes. Yes, there were also the Vaishnava Sampradayas and so forth. So many persons, they used to study the Srimad Bhagavatam, but only those who have read the Bhagavatam after delving into his biographical anthology, Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, authored by Sri Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, the foremost follower of Srila Rupa Goswami. Only those persons who have read the Bhagavatam after delving into this biographical anthology, only they will be able to take to heart the real intention and the explicit theme of Srimad Bhagavatam. This is as clear as you can get. Only that category will be able to understand. Now, he tells about the professional orators and the Prakriti Sahajiyas. When they offer explanations of the Bhagavatam, actually they cover, like obscure, the true conceptions of Srila Rupa Goswami presented in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. That's what they do. The genuine commentary of the 10th canto, it will not be written in that way. It cannot be written. The genuine commentary of the 10th canto. So countless Sahajiyas have delivered misleading commentaries simply for the gratification of general people. And thus they have cleared a path to hell for themselves and others. Now the Srimad Bhagavatam, what is it? It is the fully matured, succulent fruit of the wish-fulfilling Vedas, which are the source of aggregate knowledge and wisdom. In the third shloka of the first canto, he now quotes Nigama kalpatarar galitam phalam Shuka mukhad amrita dravasam yutam Pibata bhagavatam rasam alayam Muhuraho rasika bhuvi bhavuka. Here is the interesting translation. The Srimad Bhagavatam is the mature, succulent fruit of the wish-fulfilling tree of the Vedic literatures. Why is the Vedic literatures called Nigama Kalpatarar? That they are a wish-fulfilling tree of the Vedic literatures. Because on that tree, there's all different stages of fruits, right? But the Srimad Bhagavatam, that alone is the mature, succulent fruit of that wish-fulfilling tree of the Vedic literatures. That Srimad Bhagavatam emanated from the lips of Sri Shukadev Goswami. And it has willingly descended upon this earth in its entirety through the disciplic succession of bona fide gurus. And it is saturated with the supremely pleasing ambrosial nectar of what? Transcendental emotion, or rasa. It's saturated with the supremely pleasing ambrosial nectar of transcendental emotion, rasa. It is completely liquid. There is completely liquid. Do you ever imagine that there's a fruit and it's only liquid? Well, how are you going to hold that? Right? Here he says, it is completely liquid, it has no skin, has no seed, no fibers, or any other parts to be discarded. And thus it is fully drinkable. O great devotees, you who are bhavuk, you who are well acquainted with the transcendental nectarine emotions of divine love, prem. You're completely acquainted, well acquainted with these transcendental nectarine emotions of divine love. And then, all of you who are rasik. Rasik means expert in relishing all the specific forms of the liquefied ambrosia of transcendental emotion. Even when you are fully liberated, you should repeatedly drink the sweet nectar of Srimad Bhagavatam. Indeed, the supremely liberated souls perpetually relish this great treatise. So, that's his translation of that verse, Nigama Kalpataror Galitam Phalam. Now, this word called Nigama in the very beginning, the first word of the verse, what does Nigama mean? It means the Vedas. The Vedas are referred to as Nigama. And they are likened to a wish-fulfilling tree. These Nigamas, all the Vedas are considered to be a wish-fulfilling tree, because the Vedas easily yield the fruit of whatever one may aspire for. If they aspire with great resolve, then the Vedas will easily yield that fruit. Yes. So those who are secular, they resolve to pursue the ordinary fourfold Vedic goals. What's that? Dharma, Artha, Kam, Moksha. Dharma means what? Mundane religiosity and righteousness. So it's actually mundane. Dharma, in this context, is not transcendental Dharma, Sanatan Dharma. This is mundane religiosity and mundane righteousness. So these persons who are secular, they resolve to pursue these ordinary fourfold Vedic goals, namely Dharma, and then followed by Artha, result in prosperity, and then followed by Kam, sensual exploit of the facilities afforded by the prosperity, right? Because you got to get money. You want to enjoy your senses, you got to get money. You got to get the Artha, prosperity. And then you can enjoy your senses. And then at last, after you've tried these first three, then what happens? Moksha. The absolute cessation of all consequent material sufferings. I want to get out of here. I want to get out of here. Yes, that's called moksha. Stop these sufferings of this world. Now, on the other hand, he's talking about another category of people, those who have abandoned bhukti. What is bhukti? Sense enjoyment. Bhukti. Those persons who have abandoned sensual enjoyment. And they have also abandoned as the pursuit of emancipation from suffering, that's called mukti. They've abandoned that pursuit of emancipation from suffering. Okay? And they have also factually crossed beyond the realm of corporeal perception. They're not in the realm of just their mundane sense perception. They pass beyond that realm. Now that category of persons, they never aspire. They never aspire for these unpalatable or these tasteless things of this world. Dharma, artha, kama, moksha. Never. The karmis, what about them? The karmis are fruitive workers. They are full of selfish motives. They crave that which is distorted and repugnant. Those are karmis. And while there's another category besides them, the jnanis. They are the adherents of monism. And they try to realize dry and tasteless absolute non-distinction. But the Srimad Bhagavatam, it will never yield repugnant or tasteless fruit. No. It will never yield that. Go somewhere else if you want that. Srimad Bhagavatam will never yield that. So within the Srimad Bhagavatam, the increasing excellence of the intrinsic love between the Supreme Lord, who is called Vishaya or Sevya. So within the Srimad Bhagavatam, this increasing excellence of the intrinsic love between the Supreme Lord, Vishaya, and his servitors, Ashraya or Sevak. This is readily traced through each of the successive stages. Now, what are these successive stages? This increasing excellence of the intrinsic love between the Supreme Lord and his servitors. You can readily trace it through each of the successive stages from the first stage. There are 5 of them. The first stage is called contracted, sankuchita. So yes, this intrinsic love has a beginning level which is called sankuchita. It's contracted. It's not yet expanded out. Then the next stage is slightly budding, slightly beginning to bud. That's called ishat mukulita. Then the next stage is developing or flowering. That's called pushpita. Then the next stage is expanding or blooming. Vardita. Then comes mature or fully developed, paripushta. Mature, fully developed, and finally, profusely exuberant or perfected, prapakva. Prapakva. Do you get any of this anywhere else? No. Now similarly to this, as the wish-fulfilling tree of the Srimad Bhagavatam unfolds, then all conceptions of the Supreme Absolute, they are chronicled. They will be chronicled as the wish-fulfilling tree of the Srimad Bhagavatam unfolds, then all conceptions of the Supreme Absolute are chronicled as they evolve. Through what? They evolve through doubt, then the denial of the Absolute, then the impersonal Absolute, then the personal but impotent God, then the potent with his potency, then the conception of conjugal love with the Supreme, and finally the superlative conception of Parakya, the Supreme as Paramore. Yes. You can chronicle this in the Srimad Bhagavatam as it evolves through all these. So, for one who anxiously longs to serve transcendent beauty, through the Parakya conception, there is no entity that can award the fruit of their determined endeavor other than the wish-fulfilling tree of the Srimad Bhagavatam. Nowhere else. And this holds true in the whole of existence. This holds true. Nowhere except in the Srimad Bhagavatam. And what is the whole of existence in which this holds true? That means throughout all the material universes, or beyond them, or across the Viraja in Brahmalok, or even in any of the innumerable Vaikuntha planets. It ain't there. So in considering the Parakya conception, in considering this Parakya conception, which is really what we are trying to pursue in our spiritual life, even though we may not be very conscious of it, but really that's the goal. That's the goal. This is the Rupanuga Sampradaya. So, when you want to consider this Parakya conception, then there's 4 different gradations of increasing excellence that are observed in the Parakya conception. What are they? Initially, it is overly tender and immature. It's called taruna. Taruna. Overly tender and immature, the Parakya conception. Then in the growing stage, it is astringent, kashaya. Astringent. Then comes the ripe stage, pakva, ripe. And finally, fully ripened, prapakva. Pakva means ripe, then prapakva, fully ripe. These gradations can be perceived by the topmost devotees who earnestly long to serve transcendent beauty. By them, they can perceive. They can perceive these stages, these gradations, because they are earnestly longing to serve transcendent beauty. And what does that mean? That is to say that it can be perceived by the Rasik and the Bhavak Bhaktas as they relish the transcendental nectar of the Srimad Bhagavatam. So only they are factually bhavak. What is the definition of them? They're bhavak. That means they're situated on the platform of full uninterrupted realization of their sthai bhav. That's called bhavak. When you're situated on the platform of full uninterrupted realization of your sthai bhav. What does sthai bhav mean? That means your eternal relationship with divinity. That is rooted in their own particular mode of service. Only they are bhavak, no one else. And apart from one's sthai bhav, there are 4 other ingredients of pure transcendental love. And when these 4 ingredients, so he doesn't go into that here at all. That's Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Sthai bhav, anubhav, sattvic bhav, vyavichari bhav, like this. So he says that apart from one's own sthai bhav, then there are 4 other ingredients of pure transcendent love. And when these 4 ingredients of love are integrated with the realization of the sthai bhav, then Rasa, the transcendental nectar of divine loving exchange, will arise. That's it. Rasa. Is there any rasa in any other religious, philosophical conception? None. None. No persons who claim to be religionists, believers in God and so forth, there's no rasa. Because there's no sthai bhav. And if there's no sthai bhav, That what is your actual relationship? So in the Christian conception, then God is the Father. Okay. Bhaktivinoda Thakur accepts that and recognizes that. But yet, you will have to realize what is your spiritual body, your spiritual form. If God is the Father, then you're the child, right? But there's no discussion of transcendental realize of Siddha Deha and so forth. Yes, so only at that time, Rasa, transcendental nectar of divine loving exchange, will arise. And those who are immersed in Rasa, what about them? Those who are immersed in Rasa completely surpass the realm of mundane perceptions. They're beyond. They're situated on the platform of the profuse transcendental astonishment within their hearts, which are resplendent with Vishuddha Sattva, the supreme purity of spiritual existence, Vishuddha Sattva. And they forever relish this sublime rasa, forever. So only they who are rasik, who can relish the astonishing humors of transcendence, only they can taste the nectar of the Srimad Bhagavatam, and which is the perfectly succulent fruit of the wish-fulfilling tree of Vedic literature. Now, there is a possibility of choking. If one swallows any other fruit, there's a possibility of choking on it, because this perfectly ripened fruit is fully melted nectar. It contains only juice, and it is always easy to drink. It has no skin, it has no hard core, there is no interfering network of fibers, and indeed, there is no aspect at all to be discarded. Nothing to be discarded. So literatures that are tainted by Anyabhilas. What does Anyabhilas mean? Yeah, that means other, Anya Abhilas, other than the desire to give satisfaction to Krishna. Those persons who are tainted, or the literatures that are tainted by these selfish motives, Anyabhilas, or tainted by the expectation of material gain, karma, or tainted by the cultivation of secular knowledge, jnana, or the pursuit of mystic power, yoga, and even those literatures that expound a form of devotion to God that is mixed with any of these, Mishra Bhakti, they are all entangled with the undesirable, non-essential matters, and they are covered by a coarse layer of misconception. Unlike these, the Srimad Bhagavatam is the supremely pure and perfectly ripened embodiment of transcendent nectarine rasa. And indeed, it is the infinite reservoir of the absolute totality of this rasa, infinite reservoir. And who is that? The Srimad Bhagavatam is the infinite reservoir of the absolute totality of this rasa, Sri Krishna himself. That's what the Srimad Bhagavatam is. Sri Krishna himself, the infinite reservoir of the absolute totality of all rasa. Indeed, it is the infinite reservoir of the absolute totality of this rasa, Sri Krishna himself. Such divine rasa is meant to be relished through all stages. And even after the point of liberation, the clan of truly free souls, they eternally take pleasure in the Srimad Bhagavatam. So the narration of the Srimad Bhagavatam should be heard from the mouths of the Paramahansa Vaishnavas, Who are they? They're the most precious jewels amongst the liberated souls, the Paramahansa Vaishnavas. And still, the Prakriti Sahajiyas, what do they hear? Who do they hear from? They hear from orators whose hearts are full of innumerable worthless attachments, anarthas. And they are dedicated to protecting these innumerable worthless attachments. Such orators are simply obsessed with the flavors of mundane literature, poetry, and syllables. That's all. They may even be Sanskrit scholars. So on the pretense of hearing the Srimad Bhagavatam, the Prakriti Sahajiyas simply seek the meager gratification of their material senses, mistaking Rasa, which is the unpalatable flavors of the mundane realm. They're mistaking Rasa to be actual rasa. Such imitators can never taste the pure, succulent, transcendental mellows of the Srimad Bhagavatam. So, this is the last thing I'll read in today's class. By hearing the explanations of the Srimad Bhagavatam, which are sung by a liberated Paramahansa like Shukadeva Goswami, then a qualified listener like Parikshit Maharaj, who was fully convinced regarding the temporary nature of human life, then they will at once become immersed in relishing the nectar of Srimad Bhagavatam, and they shall remain there forever. Thereafter, such a qualified listener forgets all his prior lower interests that were unrelated to Krishna, and he becomes freed from worldly attachment. So this is why a precise written explanation of the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, grounded in profound and thorough deliberation, is indispensable. Indeed, such a composition arranged in congruence with the Rupanuga Gaudiya conception, which is the conception of Chaitanya Dev's apostles, headed by Srila Rupa Goswami. So such a composition, elucidating the 10th canto's chapters, such as Ras Panchadhyaya, Brahmara Gita, and Gopi Gita, they must be set forth without fail. The world is in want of actual beauty or actual rupa, the conceptions propounded by Sri Rupa. For currently only Rupa abounds, misshapen conceptions that are opposed to his. So in order to broadcast their cleverness and to prematurely profess their own elevated status, the Sahajiyas recklessly amuse themselves by dallying with these lofty branches of the 10th canto. So abolishing their misguided interpretations is requisite. And as is also requisite, the composing, the actual commentaries on Brahmara Gita, Gopi Gita, and the rest. Wow. Okay. This is the halfway point in this amazing article. Yes. So what do you think? You think we found the right place to hear the Srimad Bhagavatam? Yes. Because we've come in this line of the Rupanuga Acharyas. So, now in our next class, which is the last class in the year 2024, and that class is going to take place on the class. Today is the Saturday class, and the last class will take place on Monday. Or, Tuesday, Tuesday, New Year's Eve. So today is Saturday. And so the last class of 2024 will take place on the 31st of December, which is also Srila Lochan Das Thakur's appearance day. And the day before that is Srila Bhakti Saurabh Bhaktisar Maharaj. I actually love reading all these different personalities' biographies. It's so interesting to me. And how exalted they are. Even if there's just a short, he doesn't say that much about the personality, but they're not ordinary. If they're here on this calendar, they're exalted Paramahansa Mahabhagavats. So yes, so that day, the next class will be on the 31st. Today is Saturday, and the 31st is Tuesday. So after that class, then we will go on with our discussion of the Ras Panchadhyaya for the month of January, and we will stick to our usual schedule, but we will adjust it where necessary. So after the 31st, then on the 2nd of January, which is the Thursday following that Tuesday, there will be the disappearance day of Jagadish Pandit and Srila Jiva Goswami, disappearance day. We'll have class on that day. Then comes our Saturday class on the 4th of January. No special observance on that day. Then comes our Tuesday class, no observance. Thursday class, no observance on that day. But the Friday is the Putrada Ekadasi, the day after our class, the 10th. That will be the 10th January. And then it says here, Srila Jagadish Pandit. Again, there's mention here. So that Putrada Ekadasi, you'll have to break your fast. It says here from sunrise till 7:43 a.m. Yeah. Huh? Yeah. And then, so that's the Saturday class in which we will be breaking our fast on that day. So that brings us up to the 11th of January. Then comes Purnima, which is on the Monday, the 13th. But our class is on the Tuesday, the 14th. Then comes like 5 days in a row, from Wednesday the 15th all the way up till Monday the 20th. There are all different appearance days, disappearance days, Makara Sankranti, Gopal Bhatta Goswami's appearance on Thursday, which we will have class on the Ramachandra Kaviraj disappearance, Nayananda Das Babaji disappearance, like that. So then Gopinath Gaudiya Math follows Srila Bhakti Vaibhav Puri Goswami Maharaj's appearance day on the 18th Saturday, which we can have class on that day. And they also follow Srila Narahari Seva Vigraha, very important personality, very, very important in our Sampradaya. And also Srila Bhakti Sambandha Turyashrami Goswami Maharaj, all on that same day, the 18th of January, which is a Saturday. So you can see that for most of January, we don't really have to change any days. Then we come,
Or go across the river to Bhaktivedanta.
No, we're not saying that we don't have to do that. No, like you were saying, like maybe we can consider having once a week a program there, right? So that will be considered. We'll consider that. Because then on the Sunday is Srila Bhakti Vaibhav Puri Maharaj's appearance day. Narahari Seva Vigraha. You know, there's always like a slight difference between when Gopinath Gaudiya Math celebrates and the TT thing. So then in the third full week of January, then there's Jayadev Goswami disappearance on Monday the 20th, and then there's no more interruptions for our schedule of classes on Tuesday and Thursday. There's no special events. Wait a second. No, there is. On the Thursday, 23rd, Srila Lochan Das Thakur's disappearance. And then on the Saturday is Sattila Ekadasi. And then the next day after that Ekadasi, on the 26th, is Srila Bhaktivedanta Trivikram, Goswami Maharaj's appearance day. Yes, and
What day of the week is that?
that is a Sunday. That is a Sunday. It's coming right after that. See, because that's the 26th, a Sunday, and then comes the next Monday and Tuesday have nothing. So Tuesday the 28th. But Wednesday the 29th is Gurudev's appearance day. 104th appearance day of Srila Gurudev, Moni Amavasya. So we will be shifting our day and we'll have it over there, I think. You're saying to have it over here, huh?
You can ask Madhukar Prabhu, but I heard them talking.
No,
They said they all wanted to come here.
Madhukar said that only one person was suggesting that. It was not Madhukar himself. He said that Kishore was suggesting
Yeah,
that.
sure.
He said that last
Only one person was suggesting that we should have the celebration here.
Yeah, that was Kishore, but Madhukar,
Yeah.
he's on board, but he
Yeah.
doesn't, I won't get into it, but he would rather be over there.
Yeah. Well, I understand that. And actually, I would also, because the facility is better. And this is like, there's distraction here and so many other factors. So obviously, if anybody wants, they have the entire day, from early morning till in the evening to come here and pay obeisances at Gurudev's Samadhi like that. But for sure, Sukanta Prabhu will prepare a big feast for Gurudev's 104th anniversary on the Wednesday, the 29th of January. Right? So then following that, on the 30th, Bhakti Gaurava Vaikanas Maharaj is on that Thursday. So what we're going to be doing then probably is we have the Saturday Ekadasi on the 25th. Okay? And then there's Srila Trivikram Maharaj on 26th Sunday. So then on Monday and Tuesday there isn't anything. But what we could do in order to fill in, like not having a gap of 4 entire days, between the Saturday when we have the Ekadasi and the 25th, so 26th, 27th, and on the, I'm suggesting that on the 27th, which is Monday, which is the day 2 days after, 2 days after Ekadasi, we can have a program here, and that's on Monday, and then on Wednesday we go over there, right? Then that completes it, but the 31st is Friday. So what we could do is we could either have like Monday and Wednesday and then Friday, or we could just do it on the 1st of February, which is Saturday. So that covers all of January. So I think no need to discuss further because January is full of major days. Appearance day of Lord Nityananda, Sri Advaita Acharya, and many others. And I think, Vasant Panchami, and so, but I think that is the natural. And as far as Gurudev's, what do you think?
No,
definitely. And I like it better for those special days also because there's not as much distraction, as here. But I mean, if everybody decided that they wanted to come all the way over here on that day, but you're just telling that they have not. There's no consensus of large number of devotees, even Madhukar. So,
Madhukar would rather be over there.
yeah, he would rather. So no need. This is where we have our classes, And there's a small number and very few are coming over from there. Yeah?
I was thinking, I think most devotees in Sukanta itself, don't you think, I would rather it just be you speaking on that day, Gurudev's appearance day, having longer time to speak, rather than, everyone speaking, drags it into so many, but I think everyone would rather hear from you than anyone else.
Well, they can discuss and they can decide. Yes?
How about having a schedule, like a certain amount of speakers rather than just, like you did last time?
That's true.
That way Maharaj should have longer.
I mean, this last time, they've already given opportunity to every single devotee who wanted to speak, every disciple, and it was nice.
Yeah.
So, on that day we can have a couple of seniors and they can make something more of a presentation that has more substance, like that. We can do that. And also, like your suggestion about doing like one program a week, you were talking about the possibility of doing that. And I think somebody said that Sukanta also would be ready. Yeah, you told that he'd be ready to do that. So anyway, as the days go by, we can consider doing that at a convenient time. Because the whole month of January, like what we just said, we can adjust it. We can do our Saturday class over there.
Yeah, Saturday, I was just thinking
You know?
Saturday might be best.
Yeah, we can do our Saturday class over there.
The school isn't open.
Right. So, okay. Gaur Premanandi. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Transcendental presentation of Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. Gaur Premanandi. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Jaya Sachi Nandan Jaya Gaura Hari, Sachi Nandan Jaya Gaura Hari. Jaya Radha Govinda Radha Govinda Radhe. Jaya Radha Madan Mohan Radha Madan Mohan Radhe. Jaya Radha Gopinath Radha Gopinath Radhe. Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva, Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Anitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Jai Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. Vrindai Tulsidebai Priyai Keshavasya Cha Krishna Bhakti Prade Devi Satyavachai Namo Namaha Vansha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhevacha Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. All glory to the assembled devotees.